This is Dr. Quinlan with Quinlan Chiropractic Clinic from Coppell, Texas, and you're listening to the Dunham Business Radio Show.
Live from Arlington, Texas, it's the Dunham Business Radio Show. And here's your host, Lori Dunham.
Thank you so much for joining in tonight. I'm really excited that you're here. Thank you for tuning in. And listen, there's still plenty of time, so please reach out to your friends, ping them, let them know that we are here and we are taking your questions and comments for our wonderful guest that's coming tonight. And I know I say that every time, right? We have a wonderful guest. Well, we do. Our guests are just the cream of the crop, the best of the best. And, you know, we're just so excited to be able to host and honor them and give them a platform to help share their story, their journey along the entrepreneurial road to encourage you. So we're giving people around the world an opportunity to come on and host or co-host with me. Really excited to bring back a world favorite, a wonderful co-host. She's been on before. She's back by popular demand, as always. So please bring on Roshni from India. Welcome to the show, Roshni.
Hi, Lori. It's always a pleasure to be part of your show. Thank you so much for calling me again.
We love you. I mean, the audience loves you, and I mean, they bring great comments, and they just love the way that you help and co-host. So it's our honor to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's completely my pleasure.
So for those people who haven't joined in before, they don't know who you are. Just give a little background. Who is Roshni and how in the world do you know me? You're in India and I'm in America. How did that happen?
So this goes way back to 2011. I remember when I had come to UTA, that was in Arlington, Texas. And through a common friend, actually, me and Lori got introduced. So from then, I should be telling it's been almost a decade now that we know each other. Never lost contact. That's been the most beautiful thing about me and her. And Lori's been an amazing friend. And so grounded and so humble, I should be saying, that I always feel that, you know, even if she's so far, I never felt that she's far. Like, you know, we've just been so much in contact and like supporting each other, helping each other. So that's the best part about you. So thank you for being my friend for such a long time. I really appreciate that.
It's reciprocal. I mean, yeah, true friends never feel like you're far apart.
Exactly.
And it's a reciprocal thing. So
exactly. And professionally, I'm a lean manufacturing consultant. I have my own business in India with my dad. I'm empaneled under Government of India. So we've been catering to all the manufacturing units in India and just helping them out. And plus, I'm a Miss India finalist 2020.
That's right.
So that's right. The current title that I'm carrying. And then I'll be walking the finale, probably by this year end. Yes.
Super excited. Yeah. So everybody, yeah. So can people vote for you, by the way? How do they vote?
Yes, I'll be sending across the link. Yes, they can vote for me. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I'll be putting forth that probably in coming months. Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll be looking for it, and all of our listeners around the world. Here's your chance to vote for Roshni to be Miss India 2020. Absolutely beautiful inside and out. So couldn't be more honored to have you on the show. Thank you.
And I'm looking forward for today's talk also.
Yes. So I'm glad you brought that. What a great segue. Yeah. So our host, our guest today is really, in really the best space out there. Right. So she's just, she talks about health and the best way to live so that you can have the best life that you can have, right? And
sure.
It's a wonderful. So let me go ahead. I'll introduce her here. Tonight's guest is Lilli Hetherington. She is a global spokesperson for Walking in Health. She's worked extensively with thousands of people who are suffering from cancer, heart disease, diabetes, osteoporosis, arthritis, and a host of other degenerative diseases to help them regain their health and vitality through nutrition and proper supplementation. Who thought it would be that easy, right? Well, her journey, her road really has been a rough one. She, in 1989, was diagnosed with a rare blood and muscle disease that absolutely mystified the medical professionals. She later learned her condition was stemmed from a contaminated over-the-counter supplement. Wow. Like, how many people take supplements, right?
Wow.
So her decades of learning and knowledge have led her to essentially practice what she preached and turn her life completely around. She's devoted her professional life to educating others on how to take charge of their health and their future. She offers nutritional programs that are a unique combination of both biblical principles and cutting-edge science. And she wrote a book. She's an author. The book is Take Charge of Your Health, and it offers easily understood strategies and techniques that complement our God-given ability to fight diseases. Please welcome, I'm so excited, Lilli Hetherington. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Hey, Lori, I can't wait to hear what I have to say after that introduction.
We're so excited. Yeah.
I'm excited too.
Well, it's a very important field, isn't it?
Yes. And thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule. I know that you've got a lot of irons in the fire, and I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here with you.
So let's just dive right in. Let's talk just a little bit about who is Lilli, where do you come from, and how in the world did you even get involved in leading and guiding other people to a healthy life?
Well, it's been my passion really for many, many years. There's nothing that makes me happier than helping people feel better and get well from 4-stage cancer. And I've been doing that now for about 40 years. And when I work with 4-stage cancer people, they get well. How about that?
Wow.
Wow.
And
that's amazing.
Yeah. And I work with people every day all across the United States with regard to their health, whether it's 4-stage cancer or arthritis, diabetes, heart disease, low energy. I mean, Americans just don't feel well, and they're looking for answers. And so that's what I do, and I just love doing it. And I'm able to work with people, like I said, all across the United States. Now, you don't have to be in Dallas. I'm affiliated with 100.7 FM KWRD in Dallas and have been for over 20-some years.
Wow. So you have your own show and you reach out to people around the Metroplex?
Yeah, I've done various things. And I don't always have a show, but we have a lot of testimonies that air. Excuse me. And it's just a real fascinating thing to be able to meet so many people who have no idea how to be healthy.
Yeah.
And so that's where I come in as a coach.
And so what has been your experience and what led you to wanting to coach and help other people? What experience? I kind of touched on a little bit. Tell us a little bit more.
Well, it is what I studied, but in college, but you don't learn what I know at Cal State Long Beach. So it's been thousands of hours beyond that. And I've just devoted really a lot of time to educating myself. And I also went through my own health crisis, as you mentioned, and I'm healthier today that happened than if it never happened. So it's amazing what nutrition can do.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more important than on this earth than our health, because health is our most important asset. And there's just nothing more important on this earth than getting healthy. But sadly, we are one of the sickest nations in the whole world, and far too many do not feel well at all and have difficulty even with just the elementary functions of life. So we're a very sick people, and despite all of our running for cures, we are sicker than ever. We may be living longer, but just being kept alive on modern medicines, but you don't have quality of life. And so cancer is even on the rise.
Yeah.
So what does all that mean? It means there are examples like we have more people with flu, colds, respiratory problems than ever before, and 1 out of 2 Americans suffer from cancer. We lead the world in heart disease. Diabetes is on the rise. Just kind of giving you a perspective here on the need.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Diabetes is on the rise and taking our nation to the brink. Depression, anxiety, and stress are major epidemics. Americans suffer from joint pain, back pain, low energy, chronic fatigue. Now, this is not normal, but it is very common. And it's sad that most people have no idea how to prevent the top killers. And as I said, I've been affiliated with the media for years now, and I have had hundreds, if not thousands at this point, who have sought my counsel for 4-stage cancer. And they get well, by the way.
Yeah.
Heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, all the way down to weight loss and low energy. Not one of the people who have sought my help out of all the hundreds who have come to me knew or had any idea what to eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner to prevent or heal these diseases. And these are our top killers.
So
most people have,
let me jump in and ask you real quick. And what do you think has caused all this? I mean, because I remember growing up. I mean, we would eat what we thought was healthy, and Grandma and Grandpa, they made the meat and potatoes, and everything was fine. But now, you try to eat meat and potatoes, and that's all you get, and you're going to have quite an interesting weight gain. So, is it the food is no longer good, or what do you think is the cause of all of these ailments that we've got these days?
Well, and that's a very good question. It's not genetics. What can it be? If it's not genetics, because only 20% can we say is grandma's fault, but 80% is lifestyle. So if it's not genetics, what can it be? It must be something else. Well, let's think about it for a minute. Maybe modern medicine and processed food.
Yeah, I know that they jacked up the wheat. That's genetically modified, and for the purposes of demand, to meet demand. And so they modified the wheat seed itself, and now they're messing around with corn and our rice here in America. Our rice has arsenic, so that's not any good.
Well, it's modern medicine and processed food, and Big Pharma owns the airways now. A lot of people don't know that, and you can't look at television without being inundated with all these toxic drug commercials that warn you, if you take this, your liver may fall out, your bladder may explode, your heart may stop, your tongue may swell up, but this is going to be good, but it's going to be good for you.
Yeah, your skin's going to feel great, but your organs are falling out your toes. Yeah.
Who are they kidding? Because your medical doctor is the one who should be making recommendations on what you need if you have a diagnosis. And on television, you may see a commercial, for example, for eating a corny dog, let's say. And the next commercial will be for Maalox.
Right.
These medicines are very dangerous. So they are telling you you don't have to change what you eat. Eat what you want and take this horrible drug. And that is evil and it is deceptive.
Yeah.
But let's consider, as far as processed food, what are we eating on a given day in America that might contribute to this picture? 1,700,000 children eat at a hamburger chain. Let's connect some dots there. 10 billion Dunkin' Donuts are served. Are we preventing cancer so far?
Wait, 10 billion donuts a year?
Donuts are served, and 18 billion hot dogs are eaten. 60 dogs per person a year. Wow. Americans eat 10,411,000 potato chips. We spend 8,550,000 on dog food and 1,800,000 on cat food. So just looking at these numbers will immediately tell you that Americans eat a very unhealthy diet.
Yeah.
So I think there's a problem when we're spending more on cat food and dog food than we are on good vitamins.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree. And there's something that has always kind of just irked me. And you go back to my Facebook page, and I posted it a couple years ago, and I think I got what they call Facebook reamed. You get slapped again because I brought it up, but I was like, how come the ingredients in dog food is healthier than the food that we eat in our own kitchen? And oh my gosh, you think I would say that pets are bad, but I'm like, I'm switching my diet and I'm going to start eating dog food. I mean, a good, healthy dog food, because it starts with whole chicken and whole grain. And I'm like, why are we feeding our pets better than we feed ourselves?
Well,
a good answer.
And if it's important for animals to be healthy, don't you think it's important for humans to
absolutely.
take charge of their health? But, let me just sum up on a daily medical profile. To cure our ills, we have entrusted our health to our medical doctors, who are not trained in health. And trillions of dollars are spent on drugs every year. Mm-hmm. Many end up in the hospital as a result of a prescribed medicine they're taking. 80 billion tablets of aspirin are consumed on a daily. 1,400,000 is spent on laxatives. We're stopped up from the East Coast to the West Coast. Then 2.6 billion goes to over-counter painkillers. 2 million is spent on heartburn meds. So that kind of gives you a picture, a perspective that Americans just are not healthy. Yeah. But the sad thing is they don't know how to do anything different.
I was going to say, I think it's more of an education issue, right? Roshni, how is it there in India?
That's true.
Do you guys have the processed food problem there in India?
So what Lilli's talking about is actually very true. Even India is now getting into the supplement part, the kind of health issues which are coming up in India. It's actually because of the processed food. A lot of food has been eaten out in the hotels. So earlier, what you talk about, the grandmama's food eating in the house has been almost coming to a stop, only because the kind of the lifestyle, what just Lilli mentioned, it's like, everybody's working and they are like, working like say for 12, 14 hours, and they're eating food outside. And I guess the processed food is creating a lot of trouble. And plus the way the cultivation is being taking place because of all the insecticides and the pesticides that's been put to the food. We aren't really getting that nutrition. I guess the problem is coming up in India too, what Lilli's mentioning about. And people are getting into supplements. Yes, they are getting into supplements.
So maybe with Lilli's guidance and the information she's sharing, you can bring it back to your people in India and say, look, see we're on, like, India's on the emerging edge of this, where let's learn from America's issues and let's not do that, and let's do something different. Maybe you could save the entire continent of India.
That'd be great. It's the Western influence there.
Yeah.
That is causing people to not be as healthy as they used to be. But, this subject of health is so important to address now as never before. And let me just say something that's kind of current. And I'll say this to everybody. Wear a mask if you want. Get a vaccination if you want. It's your choice. But those will not give you quality of health, because you simply cannot get coronavirus or cancer either if you have a healthy immune system. Mm-hmm. So that means you have to have the right kind and the right dosage of vitamin C, vitamin D3, and zinc in your bloodstream. Now, that's just it for starters, but that you cannot get that virus if you have a healthy immune system. The people who have gotten the virus have not had healthy immune systems. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, going back to the foods, my journey, I've mentioned it on the show a couple of times before, but my journey is that for 25 years, after I left home and was an adult and I was making decisions for myself, I was eating wheat versus white. I had heard that eating wheat bread was safer, was better, better than white bread, and that was a better choice. And so I followed what I'd heard in the dietary commercials, right? I didn't know any better. I just listened to the commercials. You talked about always having commercials, and I had all kinds of medicines I was taking, and both over-the-counter, prescription, all kinds of things. It turns out I learned 25 years later, after following the diet of the masses, that I was actually allergic to gluten. That I'm celiac. And so because of that, the wheat that I ate tore up my stomach.
It was just terrible for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought it was everything else. And so my doctors that I went to for years, 25 years, different doctors, different insurance plans, different employers, whatever, every time I went, they would try to diagnose me with something different. And it never solved the problem because I continued to eat wheat. And wheat was the culprit. I mean, it was, it went
and
right to food.
And you thought it was the healthiest thing you could do.
That's right. I thought eating wheat was the better option, but it was actually killing me, and it was scarring over the inside of my stomach. And I was diagnosed, falsely diagnosed, as fibromyalgia and Crohn's disease and inflammatory bowel syndrome and, leaky gut. And I mean, all these things when really, as soon as I stopped eating the wheat, I was better.
Well, you want me to tell you some of the foods that we should be eating to be healthy?
Yeah, yes. I think that would be a good start on the education of things. Yeah, I think it's important to tell everybody.
The healthiest diet in the world is a plant-based diet, more of a Mediterranean type diet. It doesn't mean you can't have some meat, but proof of that is the fact that cultures where the people are living the longest in the world eat very little meat and dairy. So some eat none, and they are living longer and stronger. So what does this look like? What about fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, whole grains, raw nuts, raw seeds, not Planters mixed nuts, not Planters peanuts, only raw, unsalted. And then your grains, if you're not gluten sensitive, wheat, corn. I mean, this was all laid out 4,000 years ago before gluten was an issue. So we're just talking about health in general. But wheat, corn, rye, barley, rice, millet, oats, and buckwheat, raw seeds, sunflower, sesame, flax, pumpkin seeds, and then succulent foods like eggplant, okra, bell pepper, squash, green beans, pumpkins, cucumbers, tomatoes, and melons. And then in the raw nuts, almonds, pecans, cashews, or some vegetables, celery, cabbage, kale. And I list these because I was giving a seminar one time, and a girl raised her hand and she said, what is a vegetable? And she
what?
Oh my
Wait a minute. She asked you, what is a vegetable?
Asked you
what's a vegetable? And she thought that ketchup, was a vegetable. A lot of people think.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm hearing this for the first time. Something like
Ketchup
this.
is not a vegetable. I just found the title for our show. Ketchup is not a vegetable.
Oh my God.
Take charge of your health and know that ketchup is not a vegetable, ladies and gentlemen.
But artichokes, broccoli, cauliflower, these are all cancer-preventing foods that I'm mentioning.
Yeah, you just read off everything that's in my kitchen right now.
Oh, good.
That is my meal plan right there. I mean, right there.
So you're getting healthier and healthier.
Oh, yeah. It's been that way for a couple of years. And I will tell you, in the last 60 days, I've stopped eating dairy, like cheese, which I was a huge fan of cheese. And I had cheese on everything, but I've stopped eating the dairy, the cheese. And I actually stopped drinking cow milk years ago, like almost 10 years, maybe longer, maybe 15, 20 years ago, I stopped drinking cow milk entirely. I used to drink skim milk, but now it's almond milk. And I don't do any cheese whatsoever anymore. And it was hard to wean off of that. Oh my goodness. I mean,
Sure.
I put cheese on everything. And now what I did is I just tore through the cheese. Like one week, I was like, okay, I'm starting with no cheese. And so I went from like a Sunday to a Saturday, and I gobbed up the cheese on everything because I didn't want to throw it away, right? And I didn't want it to go bad waiting for me to come back around the mountain of having cheese again. So I just loaded it up, and I just ate cheese like I was, going out of town, right? And
Yeah.
I ate through all the cheese in the fridge, everything, even those little snack cheeses and the sticks. And I just ate it all. And
I bet you feel better not eating it now.
I am. It was funny because just last night I was making a salad, just very simple little food for dinner because I wasn't really hungry. So I was just throwing stuff in there, vegetables, and some grilled chicken that I grilled myself, and was mixing it all up. And I was like, wow, in the past I would have dumped a bunch of cheese into this, but I don't even want it now, you know?
It's
the body rejects it.
It's amazing how your taste buds can change.
Yeah.
Once you know, and intentionally give it a try, you don't want to go back.
That's right. And now
the body automatically starts rejecting it, actually. Even if you take in. Yeah. So this has been an experience of mine too, what you're talking about. So because of my pageant and all, like I've been working out and I'm a vegetarian. I've not eaten meat at all. No non-veg at all. So I remember I've been leaving not to have the breads, okay, any sort of bread, only trying to get into the multi-grain. So the other day my mom made some cheese garlic bread with the white bread. I consumed it, and you won't believe, I know I'm saying it on the show, I actually puked it all. Can you imagine?
Wow.
My body just couldn't take it in. Like after an hour, I was like, okay, this is making me very uneasy. So your body starts rejecting that thing because it knows it's not good for your body.
I am so glad you said that, Roshni, because when I first started this meal plan, like I said, it's been 60 days or so. And I mean, I've always eaten healthy, but when I say the meal plan is the one I've eliminated cheese and fats, right? I use olive oil or avocado oil, coconut oil, things like that to fry my meat or eggs or whatever. But I don't use any of the canned stuff I used to use, the sprays. I don't do any of that anymore.
Amazing.
I use the organic, oils.
Perfect. Yes.
Well, what's interesting is I had something with I had not had anything with a lot of oil in a while. Like probably 6 weeks in, I had no oil, and when I was cooking up the chicken, I was adding just a little bit of dab of water in the frying pan so that it wouldn't stick, and I was cooking with it, adding my seasonings, my raw seasonings. But this one particular time, I thought, oh, I'm just gonna put some oil in there. Like, it was actually ghee that I used, which is clarified butter, and I just put a little drizzle over the chicken. I wanted a different flavor, and I'm telling you, within about an hour and a half, I had eliminated the whole thing, and my body just said, "No, we don't want that. We don't want that." And no oil, no ghee. No ghee is not glee for us, And I literally, it was gone, and I was like, "Wow, my body is changing."
Exactly.
Well, Laura, you keep that up, and you're going to live to over 120.
That's my goal.
Yeah, healthily.
My goal. I've always said if I die before I'm 135, then it's a premature death.
It is. It's considered to be a curse, actually.
Yep. So I'm getting to 135. I have plenty of life ahead of me. I'm like 80 something years ahead of me still.
So yeah, that's great. Yeah. And you want to be healthy when you're 130.
That's right.
You don't want to be hooked up to machines and on a walker and all that.
That's right. I want to be out there. I don't know. Have you guys seen the video of the Weightlifting Granny?
Oh yes, I have seen it.
You gotta check her out on YouTube.
She is world famous. She's world famous. Even in India, she's known.
Yeah. Well, how old is she? She's like 85, 90?
I think she's in 90s.
And
She's in
she
90s.
presses, she does
She
it.
picks up all the weights.
Is it a
She picks
deadlift
up
though? Like
the
from the ground,
deadlifts.
she picks it up, right?
Yes, she
And
does.
does she go up to her waist, or does she bring it all the way up to her shoulders?
Way up to her shoulders.
All the way up.
She's that good.
Oh my gosh. And you would think that she is frail, she's skinny as a rail, you know, but she goes and
She has the strength. Look
yeah,
at her strength.
really, you've got to check her out on YouTube. I guess they call her the Weightlifting Granny. I'm not sure, but
sounds great.
She lifts these weights and she brings them right up, and I'm in awe.
She sounds like a woman. Sounds like a woman after my own heart. And so, just even our discussion in the last few minutes is established that a plant-based diet should be our staple, and minimize how much meat, if we eat any at all, that we eat. Now, there's some clean meat that we can eat, like fish that has fins and scales, and from the wild, not farmed. That would be things like.
We don't eat the fins and scales, though. They just are grown with that. Is that what
No, you don't eat fins that have. You eat fish that have fins and scales.
Okay, but we clean it and we take the scales off and we don't eat.
Yeah, but the difference is that the foods, the meat, the fish that don't have fins and scales are not clean. They're scavengers. They're
right.
Cleaning up and eating the excrement of all the fish in the waters.
Right.
They are scavengers. They're full of disease.
So you're talking about shrimp, crab, lobster. They're all at the bottom of the ocean eating whatever falls to the ground.
Yeah, and clam chowder is no different than eating ram chowder or roach chowder.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm not kidding.
I don't like clams. What about clams in the half shell? They're, they don't go anywhere. They're not scavengers, right? Are they?
Clams, just by their anatomy, are not clean for humans. They were never intended for humans to eat that.
Okay.
And so some of the foods that are killing us in America, did you know Americans eat 1 million animals an hour?
What?
And 150 pounds of refined sugar a year.
Whoa.
Wow, that's a lot of animals and a lot of sugar. But is it really healthy for us? And this diet blocks the delivery of oxygen to the cells, to the organs. Eating today's meat, we're just talking about some of the things that Americans eat typically every day and why we're so sick, making that link. Eating today's red meat is linked to 50,000 deaths annually in our nation. Of course, the Cattlemen's Association is not advertising that.
Of course not.
The food group we call meat and dairy contributes to 90% of all physical problems we're experiencing. And this is not to say we can't eat some meat, but Americans are eating 3 meals a day of all the wrong animals. The animals that we can eat a little bit of are vegetarian eating animals. They don't eat the dead, diseased animals. Those animals are scavengers. And we are told by our Creator to never eat them for all the generations to come, or we will be sick if we eat them. So let's focus for a minute on what Americans love. Let's focus on hogs, swine, pigs. Americans call these pepperoni, hot dogs, honey baked ham, pork loin, bacon is the number one carcinogenic meat in the whole world, and sausage. We consume them mindlessly. But you know that children who eat 12 or more hot dogs a month are 9.5 times more likely to get leukemia, the number one killer of children under the age of 13, next to accidents. According to the American Cancer Institute for Cancer Research, eating just one hot dog raises your risk for colorectal cancer by 21%. And here's the thing. During peak hot dog season, Memorial Day to Labor Day, Americans belt down 7 billion dogs.
7 billion.
On the 4th of July alone, Americans consume 150 million hot dogs. enough to stretch from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles more than 5 times. And
so
when
here's
you
a
eat...
question on that, Lilli.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to go back to when I was growing up, right? I mean, we had hot dogs all the time. In summertime, that was a staple. I mean, we had hot dogs and macaroni salad. I mean, that was our dinner. We'd go, you know, during the summertime, we'd walk up to the public pool and we would go swimming in the public pool. And we would be there all day, running around, jumping off the high dive and having a good time. Walk back home, and Mom would have the hot dogs and the toasted buns with the macaroni salad and Kool-Aid. And that was what we would eat, you know. And
sounds delicious, doesn't it?
It was amazing as a kid. I mean, I loved it. And the summertime, that was pretty much our staple meal. It was fun to eat, and it was...
Well, you're fortunate that you're still alive. Because you didn't realize that when you eat the pig, do you know what you're eating? Pigs are full of disease. Those hot dogs are full of disease. They have up to 200 different worms and 19 parasites, including the trichinae. The trichinae are just one worm found in the swine. Others include a large round kidney worm, which can be as long as 18 inches, the gullet worm, and 3 kinds of stomach worms. Does it still sound appetizing, even in the macaroni? Tiny hair worm.
My mother said that she bought beef hot dogs. They're not pork and chicken mix. They were, you know, because there's different kinds, right? And so she bought the beef hot dogs. So
what I'm referring to are the ones that are made from the pig.
Yeah, the pork and the chicken mix. Those are nasty. They come from parts of the animal you wouldn't eat.
So you don't need to be eating hot dogs. But I mean, there's nothing in there that's cancer prevention, even in the beef ones.
Yeah.
And if you're going to get beef, you want to make sure that they're free of hormones and antibiotics.
Yeah. So there's a brand out there. I think it's called Hebrew brand. They're all like organic meat, no hormones, no preservatives or something like that. I think they're a pretty good brand. I don't eat hot dogs as much as I did when I was a kid, or even growing up. You know, my early 20s, I was eating very badly. And then I switched to that so-called good diet with the wheat and eliminated a lot of things. But I was still eating meat and pork and, you know, potatoes, and I mean, just crazy. And it's just been probably in the last 10 years maybe that, you know, I've switched to more vegetables, and it's been a gradual process for sure. But
well, the thing is, it's not just the hot dogs, but it's the what do Christians in America eat on the most holy day of the year?
Ham.
Honey baked ham. And it is full of disease. And our Creator said, if you eat it, you will, for all the generations to come, you will be sick. Yeah. So why are we so sick in America? There you have it.
Yeah. So, you know, what's interesting is that a lot of people, so I think first off, education is the key, right? You got to know what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yeah, because it's for lack of education that we're perishing.
That's right. So knowledge is power.
Is it?
You know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. What?
So one side, what I'm understanding from Lilli is the education part, and is it something coming up with the business, because people want to do their business and, you know, promote something which is not supportive. So it's an education plus something, you know, if something is getting sold and if it's generating money, then why not, you know, even if I'm selling something not appropriate for the crowd.
Right.
So I feel it's more of a business thing also, I believe.
Yeah. And I think it's a society thing too, Roshni, that, you know, we're kind of in this cycle of defeat almost, because we don't have the education. And then when we do learn of what is right and good and true, the source of our food is contaminated. And so, what do? We can't, I guess we can grow our own food, but, who has time to do that, right?
Right.
And so you have to deal with the food. And so then you go, okay, I'm going to go organic. Well, okay, you can go organic, but the dirt that it's grown in is already deficient. It doesn't have the minerals and all that anyway.
Right.
So even if you ate organic, meaning organic, the only reason things are organic is that it has no pesticide sprayed on it. That's it.
Right.
That there's organic measures to prevent pests on the foods.
Right.
But that's the only difference, right? And it's good
Right.
enough. There's toxics, so you want to eliminate toxins. But then the dirt is already bad, and so the food grows up, has no pesticides, has no toxins, but the nutritional value is low. So then people say, well, I'm eating all these wonderful foods that Lilli's telling me about, but they were grown in a soil that was very poor, very low nutrients. So
it's always better to get organic than to not get organic. And but today we can't get what we need in our foods alone. Even if you do organic, even if you had an organic garden in your backyard, you cannot get what you need to prevent the top killers.
Yes.
And so I recommend supplements for sure. We just can't get what we need for prevention today through our foods alone. And 60%, that's a confusing subject too, because 60% of Americans are taking some form of supplementation. Practically everybody takes some sort of vitamins. However, only about 5% of Americans are in the range of happiness and feeling well. 1/3 of the 60% are consuming various synthetic vitamins like Centrum, Theragram, Flintstone vitamins, which they keep out of the reach of children on them because they're toxic.
That's my vitamin.
Our adult vitamins that
I take Flintstones. I take Flintstones.
You do?
Yeah. Did you know it's not a kid's vitamin, just a solely kid's vitamin? It says for adults, take 2.
Yeah, but it's not a good vitamin.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, it says keep out of the reach of children on it because it isn't good for them. It is toxic.
That's so
even the vitamins that I believe in on the bottles for the adult vitamins, it does not even say keep out of the reach of children. So because they're classified as food, the US FDA has a classification for different vitamin supplements, and the ones that we believe in and I can recommend are classified as good organic food by the US FDA. The vitamins like Flintstone and even some of the things at the health food store, they are classified as a drug by the US FDA. And so it's real important that you get, if you're going to spend money on vitamins, you might as well get vitamins that are going to also prevent cancer, because those are our top killers.
Sure.
And so I have certain ones that I believe in, and I'm very thankful to have them, to be able to recommend to my clients. But keep taking your Flintstone vitamins if you
Well, what's interesting, it was my doctor who told me to take Flintstones.
Well, doctors aren't trained in health.
Absolutely. I know that.
So he doesn't have any clue about,
Yeah.
Well, what are some benefits of choosing a healthier lifestyle? Let me tell you, your body is able to reproduce a new liver in just 6 months.
Woo-hoo.
Your cells are able to reproduce and become totally new in 11 months. Every ounce of bone in your body can become totally new in 2 years.
All right.
So I just encourage everybody to intentionally begin to take charge of their health in some new ways. This is the only way you're going to stay off the slippery slope of disease that most Americans are on. And a little bit of motivation here. Remember, the number one cause of bankruptcy in our nation is medical bills. It's expensive to ignore your health and not choose wisely. But help is available, and if people want my help, I'm available.
That's great. So that's actually a perfect segue. We're going to take a quick commercial break. But before we do, please let everybody know how they can get in touch with you just to make contact. And then we're going to come back and talk about some other things.
Okay. Yeah, my phone number is 972-380-5363. That's 972-380-5363. My email address is lilli40he@gmail.com. And then my website is www.takechargeofyourhealth.org.
All right.
Okay.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to keep talking on this wonderful conversation. I hope that it's bringing value to you, and it's helping you to find the right kind of healthy meal plan that you need. But we have some strategies and whatnot that Lilli's going to offer up. So we'll be back right after this. So stay tuned, okay?
This is Jessica Anderson with Faith Forward Nurse Aid Training Academy, and you are listening to Dunham Business Radio.
Tired of that nagging lower back pain? Would you like to check your blind spot without that stabbing pain in your neck? Have you got a headache you're tired of dealing with? Let Dr. Quinlan and his staff at Quinlan Chiropractic Clinic care for your neuromusculoskeletal aches and pains. Doctors of Chiropractic care for 22 million people annually, and the safe, effective, and gentle adjustments from Quinlan Chiropractic Clinic can help you too. For over 60 years, a member of the Quinlan family has been caring for folks just like you. Come to Coppell and see Dr. Quinlan at Quinlan Chiropractic Clinic. Please call 972-304-5900. That's 972-304-5900. Quinlan Chiropractic Clinic in Coppell, Texas.
Hi there, this is Lori Dunham with Dunham Business Radio. We won the 2019 Gray Bowl Show of the Year. We also got an award for community service, and I can't thank you enough for all of your support. We are on the next level, and we're going higher, and I can't do it without you, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, and stay tuned in.
Did you know that 99% of real estate investors are men? I am here to tell you that it doesn't have to be that way. My name is Teresa Todd-Legden, and I am a woman real estate investor. Thousands of women have come through my info sessions where they learn about real estate investing in a fun and non-intimidating way. Listen, I thought real estate investing was only for the super rich. I learned that you can do this without using any of your own money or credit, and it's a lot easier than you think. I would love to help connect you with your next investment property. I am the founder of the Women's Real Estate Investors Network. Info sessions are coming up soon. Find out where at www.womensrein.com. It is my passion to help women overcome fear and build their confidence and find financial independence through real estate investing. Go to www.womensrein.com today.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello guys, I'm Uthman from Morocco. You are listening to the Dunham Business Radio Show.
How many times have you put off a project and end up cursing yourself for waiting until the last minute? My name is Dawn Shannon, and I work with highly motivated procrastinators. If you're tired of putting those projects on the back burner and want to finally get them off your to-do list, head on over to my website, jovistrategies.com. That's JOVI strategies.com, where you can download my free 30 Days to Done worksheet to learn how to get more done in 30 days than most people do in 90. No, really, do it now.
El censo cuenta a todos los que vivimos en este país, incluyendo a aquellos que no pensarías que también cuentan. Una persona en el hospital, sí, cuenta. Miguelito que acaba de nacer, sí, Miguelito ya cuenta. Los García y los Álvarez que comparten la misma casa, sí, todos cuentan. El primo Luis que acaba de llegar al país y está viviendo en el garaje de Pedro, también cuenta. El censo cuenta a todos para que a todos nos vaya mejor.
The census counts everyone in this country, and that really means everyone. A hospital patient, yes, that person counts. Newborn Benjamin, yeah, little Ben now counts. Two families that live in the same house, sure thing, they all count. Or David, who's living in his cousin Daniel's garage, he also counts. The census counts everyone to make things better for all of us.
Thank you so much for tuning in, staying with us. We are talking to Lilli Hetherington tonight. She is giving us a wealth of information and knowledge about, about food and staying healthy and just doing the right things to have a healthy, long life. And Roshni is with us tonight. She's from India, of course, as you might recall. And so she's on, and so glad that you're here, Roshni. Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Laurie. Yes, I'm enjoying the show today.
Yes, it's really good conversation, right?
A lot of information and a lot of knowledge that I'm actually absorbing.
Yeah.
Which will be helpful for my people also to know over here in India.
Yes. So maybe the information that we're learning from our processes can help your country and maybe the other countries. I mean, we have listeners in 8 different countries. So
exactly,
take these words and absorb them in and adjust to your particular needs. That's why we're here, right?
Yes.
To improve and impact the lives of others. And get our guest back to come on the camera and continue talking with us. Lilli Hetherington has been an amazing guest on the show. Really excited that she's taken time out to help and to be here. And so welcome back to the show, Lilli.
Thank you. You're just doing an awesome work. And a service too.
Thank you.
That's fun. And laughter has so many benefits. You're just having fun and laughter, and that is. I have a whole chapter in my book on laughter.
Oh.
Also, by the way, in my book, I have a whole chapter on cow's milk and how bad it is for you. You're doing a good thing by eliminating. Cow's milk was never intended for humans. That's right. With all the advertising, we'll just take this time to say that Dairy Council advertises to drink cow's milk for healthy bones and teeth. And they've been doing that for about 50 years. But we are the only nation that cross species when it comes to drinking the milk of another species. And we have more osteoporosis, hip fractures, etc., than any other nation in the world. And we drink more cow's milk. So how's that cow's milk working?
Yeah.
It's never was intended for humans. Causes a lot of allergies.
That's right. And it causes inflammation as well. And that's what I find.
Absolutely.
When I drink cow's milk, I've noticed some of my symptoms get worse. And so I get inflammation. I feel like I'm, bloated out, I get sore hips and knees and joints. It's harder to stand up after been sitting for a long time. I get stiff. Right, it's just stiffen up.
We could do a whole show on inflammation.
Oh my! Well, we might just do that.
Yeah,
we might just do a show about that because, man, it's just incredible what we think is healthy. Going back to the wheat bread thing. I mean, it just makes me so mad that all those years I ate that thinking it was good and it wasn't good.
Well, and a lot of people are drinking cow's milk thinking that's good.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this though, because you talked about cross species real quick. What about goat milk?
Goat milk is a healthy milk, and it's the only milk in the Bible. So goat's milk, but it needs to be raw certified goat's milk. So if you go to Whole Foods and get goat's milk, that's no different than getting cow's milk, because it's processed. You want raw certified goat's milk.
Do you get that at like the health food store, like Sprouts or Natural Grocers?
No, you'd have to go to a farm.
Oh, yeah. While you're there, go ahead and pick up some eggs.
Yeah. You can go to the Chamber of Commerce and find out who buys goats, goats, sells goat's milk, goat feed, and go there and get the raw. But you don't need milk. Milk is, by definition, is for a newborn. And I think you and I have been weaned from mommy's milk.
Yeah.
So
at least a couple years, yeah.
Milk, by definition, is newborn. And cow's milk is to be for a baby calf.
That's right.
From that mommy species. And we're the only nation that cross species, maybe one other one, that drinks the milk from another species. But milk is not for adults. It's for newborns.
Yeah, it's for babies.
There's nothing in milk that, people drink it because they think they're getting calcium, but you don't get the calcium from the cow's milk.
Right. You get
it's not assimilated.
Vitamin D or A or something comes from cow's milk, but it's not a good source.
Well, there are much better ways to get vitamin D and vitamin K.
Right.
And you can get that in, you need to get it from supplementation, really, to get the best.
Yeah.
And so in India, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and in India, you're talking about the cow's milk. In India, they say we have two types of milk, that is cow's milk and the buffalo's milk. So the reason they tell us to have cow's milk is only because that's not much fattening, and the buffalo's milk is fattening. So the way people actually promote cow's milk is on a very higher level.
Remember, adults don't need milk.
That's what I learned from you today.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't drink milk anymore. And what's interesting is years ago when I stopped drinking cow's milk, in fact, I went like cow free, except for cheese. But, I went cow free, which means no meat, no beef, no milk, none of the byproducts with the exception of the cheese. And the reason I did that, I'd heard almost, 15, whenever I stopped drinking cow's milk, I had heard that calves only drink the milk from the cow for the first year, and then after that they don't even drink it. And I'm like, okay, if they're not even drinking it, then there's something.
Yeah.
we need to rethink this plan.
Right.
Well, I tell you, we just need to be more knowledgeable. We're really ignorant when it comes to this subject. And that's why, like I said, I'm affiliated with the media, and people seek my counsel have for many years, and I've counseled hundreds, if not thousands, of people on their health, and not one person who's come to me, not one client, knew what to eat to prevent our top killers. Like, they didn't even know that there was any association with what you eat to be healthy. And 3 out of 4 in the obituary deaths in the obituary column are directly related to what we're putting in our mouths 3 times a day. Wow. So if you want to avoid the obituary column,
oh my God!
What I think we should do is in the obituaries, you should also list the property that they're leaving behind, and you can combine real estate investing and never mind.
Anyhow,
leaving behind a wife and 3 kids, and a beautiful 3 too in Upper Arlington.
So I think that just to sum it up, that we need to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and if you're gluten sensitive, you can't have wheat and barley and rye. but just in generalities, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, whole grains, raw nuts, raw seeds, and you're just going to be a lot healthier and avoid that slippery slope.
What is your thoughts about popcorn?
Popcorn?
Yeah, just raw popcorn, like, just air popped popcorn.
Well, I think that would be the best. Do you think it's going to prevent cancer?
No. I like, if we're changing our meal plan, sometimes you got to have a snack.
I know. Yeah,
So,
if you're gonna, if you like popcorn, I would say air popcorn is the best. Sure, you don't need all that salt and all that oil, and
yeah,
when you heat the oil, it becomes carcinogenic.
That's right.
That's where hydrogenated oil is a culprit in heart disease. But there are examples of, in other cultures, of people who live long lives, fruitful lives, beyond 130. Vilcabamba. And I have, again, another whole, I hope y'all can get a copy of my book.
I'd love for you to send me a copy. That'd be great.
I will definitely do that. But let me just acquaint you with a great example of what I'm talking about. Raymond Francis, in his book, Never Be Sick Again, shares about a medical researcher who interviewed a 133-year-old farmer in Vilcabamba who still works his farm every single day.
Wow.
He is healthy, functional, certifiably 133-year-old man. At the time of the interview, he was still working his farms on his on the steep slopes of a mountain on a daily basis. He had fathered his last child at age 107.
Wow.
He had every tooth in his mouth. The health of our teeth and gums is a telltale sign of how healthy we really are. He was cognitively sharp. The research doctor asked him if he had ever been sick, and he said, "Oh, yes, I've been sick. I've had a few colds." Now, that's a few colds in 133 years.
Wow.
His idea of being sick was having a cold. These people die of old age well beyond 100. They do not die of chronic degenerative diseases. In other words, they don't get sick in order to die, which we were never created to get sick in order to die.
Right.
But most Americans experience several colds every year. According to the CDC, there are as many as 1 billion colds in the United States. 4,500 people die annually from influenza due to the common cold. So when we examine the diet of developing countries of the world where degenerative disease is rare, we find they rely on complex carbohydrates with very little refined food, very little bit of meat, if any, low-calorie diet of 2,000 calories or less a day, along with an active life. Conversely, our diet is very refined, fatty, and consists of about 3,000 daily calories with very sedentary lifestyle. So, and then examples of other cultures that live long are the Russian Caucasians, the Yucatan Indians, the East Indian Todas, and the Pakistan Hunzakuts, who live to be 90 to 100 years old. Vilcabamba is home to one of the cultures that live the longest. Anyhow, these are just cultures that they don't eat anything like Americans eat. So we can connect those dots.
What about Japanese? They eat very healthy, right?
Yeah, they are. It's just when they become more Western in their eating, then they start getting sick like we are. We lead the world in degenerative diseases. And just the degenerative diseases are the diseases that are coming from what we put within our bodies. It's no longer a germ that attacks us from the outside, for which we can be immunized. We are decaying from what we put in our bodies. 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're doing that to ourselves. But, you know, health is a choice.
Yeah.
And yet it's our greatest asset. And we give very little time and attention to our health.
What are your thoughts about intermittent fasting? That seems to be the big thing right now. You know, a lot of people use it with the keto diet, but based on this research and this information, keto is an no, you know. But
Right.
what about intermittent fasting? Like some people don't eat breakfast. They don't eat until lunchtime, and then they squeeze everything into 6 hours, 8 hours.
Yeah, I guess 16 hours of break, right? Intermittent. Yeah.
So yeah,
I think with intermittent fasting, you can do it however you want to. And the value is you're just cutting down on calories.
Well, they still eat all the calories they're supposed to eat, but they do it in a shorter window of time. So,
well, there are different ways of doing that. There are different ways of doing intermittent fasting.
Okay.
You know, so, but if people want to skip 1 meal a day, that's an intermittent fasting right there.
Okay.
And that's pretty simple. Unless you have low blood sugar.
Yeah, that would not be good. Yeah.
No. So, any other questions though? That's good. Those are good questions.
Yeah. Roshni had a great question.
I have one last question, and this is regarding what are your views on people all over the world turning vegan? What are your views on that?
Are you saying people all over the world are
turning vegan? Vegan, yeah, they're turning vegan. You're vegan.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to be
from being a carnivore, going from carnivore to vegetarian, and now even being more strict, going vegan. What are your thoughts about that? Is that a good path?
Well, like I said, the cultures that are living the longest are basically vegan.
Ah.
Yeah, they're the healthiest. Its meat is 90% of our problems with our health. We can contribute to eating meat and dairy.
Wow.
So, you know, it isn't really healthy to eat a lot of meat. We were never intended to eat, and we eat the wrong meat. So you have, if you're going to eat meat, you want to make sure you're not eating any of the hog, and you're not eating your fish are from the wild and have fins and scales.
Yeah.
I've got a whole chapter of what fish is good for you and which you should never eat. For all
I'm really glad you brought that up. So let's talk real quick about your book. It's an amazing book. It's filled with all the information that we've been talking about. So if anybody wants to get your book, where can they go and get your book? They have your own website for that?
You can get it through Amazon, but we are right now mailing out the books, so they can just call us and order a book.
Okay.
972-380-5363. 972-380-5363.
Awesome. Okay, so the title of the book, Take Charge of Your Health. Let me read a little bit about this. Take Charge of Your Health. It offers a new paradigm on diet and nutrition that can transform your life, integrating biblical principles and nutritional advice based on the latest cutting-edge science. The book will energize your mind, body, and spirit to levels you've never imagined. I'm like, wow, I have a great imagination to go where I've never imagined.
That's true. Yeah, well, I've worked with, for over 40 years, worked with 4-stage cancer patients, heart disease, arthritis, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, you name a condition, and we probably have a protocol that that both heals that and prevents it.
Wow.
And all of our programs are like 4,000 years. I know I don't look that old. Well, and then the supplements that I believe in have been around for over 60 years, working for people. There's a reason why they're still around.
Yeah.
And so I think 60 years is long enough to know if something is going to work for you. Don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe the eating plan of 4,000 years.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's enough time to know for sure that it's good? It stood the test of time.
Now, one of the things that jumped out at me on reading more about your book was that it says here that the book's dietary recommendations can extend your lifespan by up to 29 years.
Yes.
Wow.
And all the science on that.
That's huge. Like
yes.
The book that shows you the path to the fountain of youth.
Exactly. Yes. We want our youth to be renewed.
Oh, this has been great. Roshni, do you have anything else you'd like to talk to Lilli about?
So the ones who are in India can also order it on Amazon, the book?
Or just call our phone number.
No, the ones in India. Okay, fine. I got it.
Oh, in India. Yeah, you can.
India.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
And if people most people don't just need another book when it comes to their health. They don't just need another vitamin, another website. They need a coach.
Yes.
Yeah.
And somebody working with them. And that's what I do all day long. And I work with people all across the United States. And that makes me very happy because I love being able to help people live longer and have quality of health and not just be limping along and, on a walker.
Yes.
Or in a wheelchair. You can avoid all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to recommend your name. Yeah.
The choice is yours.
Sure.
It's in your control. 20% is genetics. So if grandma had it, it's in the bloodline, only 20%. 80% is what you do about it.
True.
So that means we're not victims.
Amen.
Right?
Amen. That deserved an amen.
we are in control of our health.
Yeah.
Sure. Nobody has a gun to your head saying, eat that sausage.
Right. And one little tip that I learned growing grocery shopping was to shop the perimeter of the grocery store. Everything in the middle is all processed. I didn't know that. They set it up that way, that you have to go in the inner aisles to go get things. And I realized, wait, somebody told me to shop the perimeter. Well, sure enough, everything on the outside is good. The produce, the meat, the fish, the
live food.
I'm like, wow, that's genius.
You want to eat more live food because that is your key to health, are the live foods. And you cannot get cancer if there's oxygen in your bloodstream. So that means you can't get that virus if you have oxygen in your bloodstream. How do we get oxygen? We take the antioxidants in megadoses. And that is
a quart of blueberries a day.
Well, but you really have to supplement to get the kind of health that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You have to supplement with the right supplements, not just any supplements.
And so you sell the supplements you're talking about, or do you buy them over the counter?
I have about 10 different product lines in my practice.
Okay.
That I believe in, that have been around for 60 years. And here's the thing on supplements. I don't know if you knew that I was poisoned on a health. Maybe you mentioned that. Poisoned on a health. That's how I got that rare blood disease.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 1,500 people were poisoned from a poison batch out of Japan.
Oh.
And 1,500 people died. I was invited to the memorial service in Washington, D.C.
Oh my
and
goodness.
So I am the only one. I know how the body can heal of just about anything. And so I'm healthier today that happened than if it never happened. But I almost died.
Wow.
So that's on my website. They can read that. And there are many radio interviews on my website.
Yeah.
Television interviews. So where you get more education.
Yes.
You have to seek it out and be intentional with this.
That's a key word.
I'm telling you, the blessings are there. The blessings are there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the key word, intentional. Like you have to plan, you have to strategize, you have to work the plan and plan the work, when it comes to your health. Because health
doesn't just fly in the window.
That's right. That's right. Because your health is, it's given to you, but it's not granted to you. That makes sense.
No, you have to do what you're supposed to do, because by default, we're going to be programmed to just eat whatever. We mindlessly eat the hot dogs. We mindlessly eat the sugary sweets and desserts, and really don't think anything about it because you don't know.
Right.
You don't know you have a choice. People come see me. My approach on my protocols is, if they've been given a diagnosis, I want them, you don't have to see me with a diagnosis, but if you have the diagnosis, I want you to know how that diagnosis got there, because even doctors don't know.
That's right.
And then I want to list for you all the foods that will heal your body of that condition. Then I list for you all the foods that are contributing to that disease, just so you know.
Wow.
And then, because you can't get what you need in your foods alone, I will list for my clients what selective organic supplements that I would recommend that they would need for their particular condition. How to take each thing, what each thing's for, when to take it. So when you walk out of my office, or if you get off the phone because you've done a long distance consultation, you know exactly what to do to take charge of that condition based on many years of successfully working with it.
Wow.
And so we're not guessing. We are not hoping. We know exactly, when it comes to the human body, what it needs to be regenerated and replenished and restored, repaired, all those R words.
Yeah.
I am buying your book. I'm going to buy your book, and I'm going to read it and ask people in India, like, to really, even at least my circle, people in my circle, I would like to go through your book, because I'm getting a lot of insight, listening to you right now. And this is so much required. There's so many people don't know about it.
Yeah. And that book, when I pick up my book and look at it, I get more encouraged every single time.
It's the book that keeps on giving.
Yeah. It just is so simple, but it is profound.
Yeah.
Because it has all the keys. Right. There's nothing that isn't, to keep you healthy.
Wow.
So, and I encourage people in their latter years to take charge of their health, so that their adult children are not pushing them to rehab and to oncologists. And it's not fair to your children to have to assume that responsibility. That's happening a lot. There are adult children that are losing their jobs because their parents require so much help in the area of their physical body.
Right.
Driving them to doctor's offices all the time. It's just not fair.
Yeah. I always say, like, this is the last thing I'm going to say, or the last question, but then something else comes up, and it's
I have one question.
So yeah, go Rajni, go.
Okay, my question is, as you said that people who have got fourth stage cancer, even they have got recovered. So what has been the duration of their recovery, a tentative duration of recovery for a fourth stage cancer patient?
Okay, what are you asking?
For the fourth stage of cancer patient.
You're wondering, what do I tell them?
No. What has been like a period of their recovery, coming out of cancer? The duration.
Every cancer person that has come to me has gotten well if they do what I have recommended.
How long does it normally take? Like on average, I know everybody's different, but on average.
Yeah, and I have a whole lot of 1-minute testimonies that air on Christian radio of cancer patients have given their testimony.
Oh.
Ovarian, breast, a lot of prostate.
And how long after they've started with you would they start to see an improvement or be completely healed from stage 4 cancer?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't really keep up with how long it took them to, but the point is that they got well.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're doing well. I have people that was 20 and 30 years ago, and they're doing well.
Wow.
Wow.
That is so great.
isn't it inspirational? It just motivates you. Just talking about it motivates me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you think, you know, getting the diagnosis, the cancer diagnosis, it's like it's a death sentence. Oh, but I mean, we've interviewed people on the show actually that cater to the people who have cancer. You know, they're there to support them emotionally as they go through the cancer treatments, and you know, and that's great. But man, if they knew they didn't have to do that, wow.
Lori, that is so right. Amen.
Wow.
I mean, you know, and that's nice that they want to do that they want to help those people. But isn't there a higher calling to tell them how to get well?
Yeah.
Because they don't hear it. They don't hear it. They don't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have people that, you know, have been on my program. They didn't lose their hair when they went through chemo. And all that is our testimonies that you can hear on.
Wow.
And Roxy, if you'll send me your email, can't we send email to her?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. She gives me her email. I'll send her some testimonies and stuff.
I would love to read them, and I would actually would like to give a word to people around me if they can try to get in contact with you, you know, if they are going through cancer.
Yes.
I would really like to recommend them, like, to you, and then you can take care of them.
Yes. Well, I've had a lot of experience, and
now
I
you
love
can take your practice from the United States. We're going to go worldwide now.
Literally.
Get ready.
Okay.
Get ready.
I would love to introduce her to India. Really, I'm telling you, people need help. People need guidance, like the way you just spoke so patiently with proper proofs. We all need that. Many people don't have that understanding or education, like in India too. And
maybe I need to get on a plane and come over there and speak.
Come. I'm inviting you.
Do it.
You can come down. You can come down to India, come and stay at our place, and I'll introduce you to people and the doctors.
But you know what? You can get the book, and you can just take people through it.
I'll do that. I'll be in touch with you with Lori's permission.
That's what I do. I connect and promote and solve problems. That's what I do.
I would love to be in contact with you, Lilli. This is really something which has opened my eyes also about.
Well, if you somehow get your email to me, then we can stay connected.
Sure, Lilli.
Easy
Lori
enough.
can. Yes.
That's easy. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, why don't we go ahead and wrap it up? So before we go, just tell everybody in the audience once again how they can reach you, Lilli.
Okay.
Coach with you or get your book or whatever.
Yes, my phone number is 972-380-5363. 972-380-5363. My website is www.takechargeofyourhealth.org. And my email is LILLI40HE@gmail.com.
Excellent. Thank you
so much.
Great being with you. Show, Lilli. I really appreciate you taking the time.
It's been great being with you. Thank you.
I know you've been waiting over a year to get on the show. So thank you for your patience.
Yeah, well, let's do it again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
I'm excited. We have a lot to follow up. We'll do a show about inflammation and other things. We'll find some other ways to get you back on.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Lilli.
Thank you. It's so nice to meet you both.
And
Same here.
Ashley, do you have anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
It was really nice talking to you, and I'm going to be connected to you, Lilli.
Oh, good. Yeah, I look forward to it.
Excellent.
Yes, and I would like to invite you to India anytime possible. You can just come to India.
Okay, well, I'll get that arranged tomorrow.
Perfect. Perfect.
So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to the Dunham Business Radio Show. We love and appreciate you. Thank you for your support. I know we went a little longer tonight, but you know, I feel like this message of health is so important. And please, share this video when it comes out. Share it to your circles. Get in touch with Lilli. Make a change in your life that's going to impact not only you, but your entire generations below you.
And your health is your greatest asset.
But in health, yeah, your health is definitely your greatest asset, for sure.
Nothing more important on earth.
That's right.
You know,
that's why we call it.
What can you accomplish with a splitting headache?
Not much. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next time. Stay connected to Dunham Business Radio. And until next week, stay on top of the world.
Thanks for listening to the Dunham Business Radio Show. Be sure to follow us at Dunham Business Radio and check out DunhamBusinessRadio.com for more info.
I'm on top of the world and now I'm living, and the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning.